The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki.
Here I am. Hi, it's Nikki. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Welcome to the show. I'm joined in studio. As promised on the last episode, I said she'd be here. She is.
Woo.
It's Julie Glaser.
Made it.
Yeah.
Made it.
It was
last
tight.
second. It was tight.
It was tight.
Okay, tell me.
Well, I didn't even know.
What happened?
Well, I
you-
was on
did
a
you say you got
ladder.
off a paint ladder?
What was that, Noah?
Did Julie say she got off a paint ladder?
Yeah,
Yes.
so I just last minute was like, oh, it'd be really fun to do a podcast with Mom here. And I forgot to ask her to do it. And so, because we had a fun dinner last night and there was lots of laughs. And
That's
so
so
then I
nice.
was like, oh yeah, let's get another hang in. And then I was like, I couldn't have her, we did one right before this that you heard yesterday. And then right at the beginning of that, I was like, hey, if you want to come by in an hour, we're doing a podcast. And so you were on a step ladder. You are not supposed to be on ladders. I don't like this.
I wasn't
a
even
paint ladder.
Yeah, a paint. I was painting. But
Okay.
I didn't know until
Do you know that paint takes longer than 3 hours to dry?
Oh, wait.
Longer than 90
is that a
minutes.
common knowledge now?
Wait, no. It's something we realize everyone does know on every level, but for some reason we all forgot that day. But yeah, so you were painting what?
I'm painting my bathroom, laundry room.
Oh my God, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. But I'm getting it done. And
You
and
are such a
luckily,
resilient woman.
I actually
Do you
just
like?
finished, and I looked at my phone, and it was you saying,
Mm-hmm.
"Do you want to do the podcast?" I was like, "Oh my God, I just finished! Great timing!" And I thought I can make it down there by 1 o'clock.
You did.
But I ran upstairs, and I'm like, "AJ, you got to help me, and I need these brushes cleaned out." And he's like, "No, I have a sweater on. I can't." So
I have a sweater on.
I've got the
Yeah,
I said,
I
take your
always love
sweater
that
off and put
excuse.
an
Yeah.
apron on.
yeah.
And he
Is that your excuse to not have sex? Is he throwing it back in your face?
Wait,
Sorry, I can't have a sweater on. That's been my excuse sometimes where I'm like, I don't want to take this sweater knock.
I'm very
It's like a
comfortable.
turtleneck. I'm going to stretch it out again. It's going to fuck up my makeup. Like, can we just have sex with the sweater on? And not that I've ever had sex, but
that wouldn't work.
no.
But
I've never
anyway,
done
yeah,
that. Yeah.
no, he wasn't helpful at all.
Yeah.
He had to have his lunch. He was like,
Well,
gotta eat because I gotta sing later on this
I
afternoon.
put my sweater on. I'm
what
getting
is
ready for lunch. Just have
He's
to sit
got so
down.
many excuses.
and what does that
Brian.
have to
It's
do
so
with you?
funny. It has nothing to do with me, but he just was concerned about his lunch and not me getting to. He's like,
But I know it's wild. I
and
mean,
then he was being really sweet. He said, "Do you think you want to have a cup of soup too?" I'm like,
Oh, that's nice.
No, he knew.
he knew you had to go.
He knew. And then I came upstairs.
Oh.
You sure you don't want a cup of soup?
Well, he's so proud of himself that he made soup.
oh no.
Because classically, when my mom makes something, it's just like a forethought that my mom's gonna make dinner. Like she makes these elaborate meals with and I grew up with the best dinners that a child could have. There was always something green. There was always a starch. There was always a fruit. There was always a protein. Like balanced
Wow.
meals. I would go over to friends' houses
fruit?
and they would just have
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, always fruit. They would for dinner. I would go over to a friend's house. I remember Laura. I won't say her name, but
Right.
Oh,
went
no.
over to her house and they just had spaghetti. And I remember coming back home and being like, they didn't have garlic bread. They didn't have
a salad.
and they didn't have a salad. Like, what are they? They're just eating for dinner, just spaghetti.
Weird.
Like, that's not
Second.
nutritious.
Weird.
Can I
I was
clarify? Will you
offended.
always have a fruit with dinner?
Yeah.
Well, we
would
used
have
to.
some kind of it would be a sweet. Like, you are hitting all of the things.
Yeah.
My
Like
tongue
after
is
dinner,
getting
you'd
all-
have fruit, or like on the
Yeah.
plate. You'd
No,
have
on the
fruit.
plate, like with fruit, like there would just be a side of so let's, for example, a dinner would be like maybe roast chicken, and then there would be green beans, and then there would be mashed potatoes, and then there would be like a fruit salad that she put in like a separate little bowl, like on the dish. That would be
Wow.
like
That's-
fresh oranges, grapes, blueberries, pineapple sometimes. Yeah.
That's highly unusual for dinner. I feel like that's
No,
a brunch
it's-
thing.
Well, yeah, I guess, but it's not, or applesauce would be.
Oh, applesauce was big.
It's kind of like just having your dessert with your food a little bit because we
Sure,
weren't
sure.
like a big dessert family.
No.
We would then go snack on like Milk Duds in the next room or Goobers
Right.
or like
We'd
whatever.
get in front of the TV.
Yeah,
and then
get in front of the TV, and then that's dessert time for sweets. It's the right way to do it. No, but we
Sure.
had such
I love
balanced
fruit.
meals. So my mom makes these elaborate meals. My dad classically, it's just my dad is a near perfect man, but one of his biggest flaws
He
is
is.
like he can't really give compliments about food in like a way that it takes a lot to hear like, this is good.
It's got to be really, really good.
Oh, yeah, and other people have to start it first.
Oh, yeah.
These are just things I've observed. I don't know. Maybe
No.
you've had other times where it's like he is just like
He's trying to be better, I think.
good. He should be because it's hard for.
It's only been 41 years.
Yeah. I have the same thing where like sometimes if I send someone once a compliment for something and I feel a little bit guilty that I'm not the one doing this thing and I feel guilty they even have to do it, then I'll like withhold a compliment because then if I say, I think this is subconscious, right? If I say thank you so much for this meal, this is amazing, I'm acknowledging that like this is hard work. And then I am therefore reinforcing that I'm letting this person do hard work when I'm not. And so it makes me feel guilty. So you almost don't give too many compliments so you can walk away from it being like, it wasn't that hard. I'm not kind of a dick for always making her do this every single night. So instead I'll be a dick by not saying anything about how good it is and being appreciative. But I think that's what people do subconsciously because I don't think dad has a villainous bone in his body
No.
or like some a cruel bone, but it sometimes comes off as cruel because you're just like, just give me the fucking compliment. And then he'll go,
Yeah.
well, I'm not going to say I like the soup. I like hot soup. So the soup's cold. So what? And I always go, find something you like about it. The color, the texture, the work that went into it. Like it doesn't, just because it has one flaw doesn't mean it's all bad.
He's like, I can't find something about it. I'm wearing a sweater.
Yeah. I've got this sweater on. I don't want to ruin it.
I told Chris one time, I was like, I got mad at him because he didn't I like put into work into my like outfit and I didn't get a compliment that I so desperately was wanting. And so I'm like, why didn't you say anything? And he's like, we talked through it and he was like, I'm sorry I didn't catch that. Like it was missed on me. And I'm like, there's no way. Like, look how much effort. Like, how could you miss not? And like, I feel like, and he's like, I swear to God, I didn't notice. I had too much on my mind. So, and I believe him. He's not a liar. So it was truly like, he just didn't know. But in my mind, he was like, he noticed and he was like, I'm not going to say this to her. Like it hurt me. Like you're withholding or something. But then he said, but what do you want me to say when I don't like what you're wearing? Like, am I supposed to say I like it if I don't? And I'm like, find something you like about me. It could be your teeth look great. You have amazing smile tonight. Your eyes look great. Like those
but
things I didn't
so
buy.
if you go, what do you think about my shirt? And he goes,
I don't say
"You
what
got
do you think
great
about my
teeth."
shirt.
God,
I don't
your
say
teeth
that.
are white.
No, you know what you can say? you're look at how beautiful you are.
Okay. This be
Yeah.
very vague.
Oh my God, you look at you. Just
Yeah, but
even
you're
look
too
at you.
smart
Look
for
at you
this.
says nothing. Look at you could literally mean look at you looking like shit.
Yeah,
but look at you.
might take
No.
that wrong though.
You're
would
too
go,
smart for this. You would dig into those. You'd figure
Yeah.
it out within
No.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
If you know anything about me, please, God, know that I am not looking for places that people can. I'm not looking for criticism. So, like when I tell someone, people always go, "You're not going to appreciate that if you tell him, hey, I want you to compliment my outfits more," and then he does 2 minutes later. I'll be like, "No, I want it now. Like I told you to do it. Do it." I'm not going to be like, "You're only saying that because I told you to say that." I'm never a girl that does that. That's such a trap. And
You don't
you know,
set up people for failure. You're not one of those
No,
people.
I do experiments. We've talked about this
Oh,
on
yeah.
the girls' chat that sometimes women put their husbands, and sometimes probably men do this, where you're like, I'm going to test and see if I don't touch something for this long, how long will it go without getting addressed? Let's just see how long he can live like this, and like, or I'm going to actually set him up. Is he going to say anything? I'm going to actually do my hair in a different way, and if he doesn't say anything, then he doesn't fucking love me, and all these things. But I guess my point is, you can always find something nice to say. Always.
Okay, this is like the reverse of what you were talking about yesterday about coincidences, where you were looking for like the thing that doesn't make it like
Special?
an actual
Oh, yeah.
coincidence. Yeah, that doesn't make it special.
I want to repeat that again. It's not, I just don't, I think that sometimes, I think a lot of the bad things of our world is that we have egos and we think that I am blessed in some sort of way. These people aren't, and I am. I have had all this great fortune because God likes me more, and God must not like those people very much.
Yeah.
So maybe it's okay that I don't care about their well-being, because why would God make that person homeless and make me super rich? Because God loves me and he doesn't love them, so I don't need to love them. So I think a lot of this magical thinking of like, it was a sign and I was meant to be with this person. It's people convincing themselves they're better than other people or somehow blessed. So that's why I don't like it was destiny. I'm not trying to make you feel like if you think you found your soulmate, you're wrong. You are lucky, but you're not special.
Oh,
That's what I was saying yesterday.
I just
So you're
think
saying
it's
ahead.
finding the positive in the situation.
Yes, without making
important.
it like I am special. Like you're
No.
ordinary and that's fine. Like
No,
I just
something
wanna
lucky happened to you.
I did not tell the Iceland story to.
No,
the
you were saying
takeaway
that it
from
was
that
like
story
they were
was not that
soulmates.
they're
They're meant to-
special.
No, it was you were sharing a coincidence.
Yeah, a coincidence.
Which
that they
is
both went
notable
to Iceland
and-
at the same. But
and
that
is
wasn't to be like
interesting.
they're special godlike
okay,
creatures who are
here's a-
warranted this.
Here's a story like
amazing-
that. My
Yes.
parents, my dad is my mom's older brother's best friend. So she like grew up around my dad. She was like a little girl around my dad. And like we could all go like, wow, the fates aligned that like, but it's like, that's why they ended up together. Is
Yeah.
because of the circumstance. Like your friends might have ended up together because they both went to Iceland at the same time. So it's not that bizarre that like, and can you believe they ended up married? It's like, yes, because they went to Iceland at the same time and ran into each other and they thought it was like
Stop
we
it.
are meant to be.
Stop it.
I think
She's
their
ruining
marriage
your
is a
story, I
sham.
bet.
You're off
I
the
don't
rails,
even know
Nikki.
them. And
You're off the rails right now. They're just my
I
friends
was
who went to
huffing paint
Iceland
this
at the
weekend,
same time.
and I'm going rogue, baby. It's all those paint fumes. I just I wanna
you're
ruin
eating
any-
paint
I think
all
you
weekend.
ate them.
anything special. I just like I realized like I always think of things of like thank God my parents met and had sex at the same exact time and that my little sperm was like and like got an egg. Like these are all like that's still
You
like
are
my sperm
special.
out of all those billions of sperm because
That's right.
It was special. Let me tell
Every
you.
single
I won
person
the
on
lottery.
this planet is special because we won the sperm lottery.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
But it doesn't
I mean,
mean we're
tell me that's
special.
not-
We're lucky. Special
You were
is
touched by the finger of God, Nikki.
yes. Well,
Your
I mean,
little sperm. Whoop.
but you know
Now
what?
you're a
I don't know. Some people are special, but this is the other thing. So I'm trying to live in a world where it's like no one's special. People are lucky, but we're all kind of the same. And then people want to constantly make make people go like, but. And I feel like everyone wants to feel special, but then we all have to accept this thing of like everyone's equal. And I'm trying to get to a place of that of
That's
like,
tough, yeah.
but we do get these like conflicting messages of like you're special. Look in the mirror and just know that you were put on this earth for a purpose. But some people just don't do much or whatever. Does everyone have to be special? And is that okay? Is okay?
Well, can people be lucky? Is that the question? Is that
yes,
it? That's
that
it.
is what it is.
I think it's just
But
luck,
people
but not.
misconstrue luck with God loves me and I am therefore a better person. Like I
Gotcha.
did something better in a past life. This is karma because I was a good. How easy is it for you to convince yourself you were good in a past life? What the? You have nothing to fucking do
No,
with that.
it's true.
Go
How
fuck
did-
yourself if you think you were some saint in a past life and now you've been granted. Who gives a shit? That was another person. It doesn't mean anything to me. Like it doesn't mean literally anything to me, even if it's true. Even if
But that'd
it's
be
true.
awesome.
It
I
means
would love for
nothing.
that to be true.
Like
There's
everyone.
no greater existence than, I mean, there would be no greater outcome than to be reincarnated and live over and over again. That would be amazing. I
so
hope
you hope
that's right.
what it is.
I hope so. Oh my
And do you
God,
like?
please
do you
let that be
believe
true.
like humans turn into humans again, or is it like could you be like an amoeba, which is most things? You know,
Yeah, I mean, that kind of would suck if you turn, but if you go, the thing is, if you turn into an amoeba, you're
It's
only an
over
amoeba
quick.
for like, yeah. And then you get, if you were a good amoeba and you didn't kill anybody or whatever.
And you're
amoebas
lucky.
what
do,
does that even?
What if you're
yeah.
lucky amoeba?
That I don't understand. I think this is Hinduism.
Lucky amoeba that is like on the eyelash of Taylor Swift,
Right.
like a little single cell
right.
organism that gets
How
to
do
hang
you-
out on her eyelash.
Right.
How do you
That's the
progress
luckiest
to the
amoeba.
next state of being if you're an amoeba? Like, who judges whether or not you were a moral,
Exactly.
upstanding amoeba?
This is why I got into a huge fight with Carlisle the other day about Jesus and us Christians and ascending. And like Chris and I were trying to explain to Carlisle, like, I don't know much. I'm kind of ignorant when it comes to religion and stuff. I just know that organized religion, to me, it's like a net negative for the world is what Chris is kind of trying to explain. Like, yes, these religions all do great things for people, but like by and large, it's caused more pain.
Wars.
Like you could say, like we built this many homes in Honduras, but like if this many kids had to get molested, like is that worth it? Like how much bad has this done a certain church versus how much good? You know, it's even
Well,
if it's
in terms of bad.
50.00001% bad, then it's not good because it's more bad.
There's no organization responsible for more death than religion.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean,
So
history.
when Carlisle was saying like, I'm a Christian and I'm sorry she's not here to defend herself. And I love you, Carlisle, so much. And I hope you heard the last episode where I told you how much I loved you at the end and how
She'll
this
get the last
conversation.
laugh when she's in heaven and you're in
Dude,
hell.
she will.
Or
She
burning
said that
in
when we
hell.
first met, she was like, I told her I was godless because I used to be. And she was like, oh no, this is going to be a thing in our relationship. Like she was like, oh no. And I was like, that would never be a thing for me in a relationship. I would never not be friends with someone because I might go, if you vote a certain way or something, I just might go, you can do that. But like, I don't think you're very smart. And so I don't like hang out with people who aren't smart. Like but I wouldn't ever deny someone. She grew up Christian. I'm never going to be
Right.
like, that's stupid that you grew up Christian. Like, who cares? Like, that's what you grew up. But
No,
to
these
identify as a
Christians are
Christian
smarter than
now,
us.
I said,
but what
babe.
about it does she like? I mean, like,
Well,
what is it?
This is
it
the thing.
The
She said, no,
spirituality?
I believe in God. And I go, do you believe in Christ? And she's like, I believe he was a person. And I go, well, then we both agree in the same thing. I
Yeah.
believe Jesus Christ was a person.
He was a
And I
person.
also believe in a higher power. That doesn't make me a Christian. And so when you say you're a Christian, it really comes with, to me, as someone who might be ignorant and might be too judgmental and might not be well read. I hear Christian and I know there's great Christians, but I picture someone who thinks they're better than other people and who wants to convert everyone to thinking their way and who has brought a lot of pain in this world by, pro-life stuff. And I just connotate it with a bad
but that's
thing.
the political stuff. Like there is the
Yes.
spiritual aspect, which I think could be helpful because the
Okay.
stuff that I found in Judaism, which
Yes.
I don't like organized religion either, but the spiritual stuff that I like, there's a lot of overlapping with cognitive behavioral therapy stuff
Yeah, I
that
think
has
there
nothing
is,
to do with God or anything like that.
but that's
The
why I
thing
was
that I
trying to
found-
find out what was that besides I believe in God, because then you should be then you're Buddhist, then you're I guess you guys don't believe. Do you have a God? Jewish people,
I believe in God.
Yeah, they
Yahweh.
know God.
it's Yahweh. Who's
Yeah,
the one
thing
that doesn't have a
brings me
God?
comfort
Oh yeah.
in
There is. Yeah.
Judaism is the soups mostly. That brings me the most comfort.
Well, that's the thing. Is she was like,
I mean,
listened
Judaism
to
has
EJ.
the best soups, I think, out of any religion.
Hey, if
I
it's
can't. I
not
don't think that's even a
Jewish
question.
soup, I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to say like it if it's not Jewish. That's Dad at a deli. I don't know. I'm not going to.
They have the best soup, the Jews.
They
Name
Yeah,
a
well,
religion that has a better
You
soup.
can't say Jews.
Oh,
Jewish
you
people.
can't?
It's the new thing. Like I just don't.
Oh.
I think I heard Michael
I'm
Rappaport
so
make
sorry.
a point. No, you're learning. I think, and as a non-Jewish person,
I
I
really
think
did not know
I think
that.
non-Jewish people have to be done with the word JEWS. It's not
Oh.
ours.
I
How do you
don't
guys
know.
feel?
What do you
I think it depends on the context, like anything.
Yeah, but it's just like it gives, you know what it does? I understand the
Jews.
context and some people use it the correct way, but it gives people who are using it like in a derogatory way the excuse to use it.
No,
Louis
we're not going to
C.K.
give
has
them the
that
word.
great joke about Jews where he says Jews is the only derogatory term that is the same as the regular term.
Exactly.
All you have to do is say, you could say, oh, he's a Jew. He's a Jew. It's fine. Or you could say, he's a Jew. And all it is
Yes.
Jew with a little stank on it.
That is
and
why
then all
I
of a
think I
sudden-
don't like it.
We
It
can't
just
let
gives
them
it-
win, Nikki. We can't. We have to keep the word as a positive thing.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. But that's how it keeps it a positive thing. Is like you're making it so they can't say it. So only people that say it positively are saying it.
But
So
then
if you, like-
but then it's like a negative thing about Jews because then we're like, like censoring
Controlling?
people or like
Who
telling them how to
gives a-
speak or whatever.
But black people have a word that only they can say. How about you guys get one?
No.
Like they took it. Like I
She's
mean,
off the rails today.
I'm off the rails. I'm just
As
saying,
a straight
like I know.
white man, I do feel bad that there's not enough words that I can only say and no other races and religions can. So I would love to have, there needs to be a word.
That's what I'm.
I think to just level the playing field, there should be a word that only straight white males can say.
The
I
R
don't know
word.
what that word is.
No.
The R word?
I know what you can't say is 2 words. I'm sorry. Oh, those words you are not allowed to say as a straight white male ever.
No.
Don't even
Why?
try.
No.
Not that you would,
What?
but you're not. I'm just kidding. I'm just saying
That's
that straight
offensive.
white men
That's
don't
the-
apologize.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
off the rails, you guys. I'm
This
going
is it.
fucking
Razzle dazzle. This is
wild.
razzle dazzle, Nikki.
Dazzle, you better keep up, bitch. Okay, we have to wrap and go to break, so we'll be back with more after this. Razzle dazzle. Okay.
I just want to
so-
say that I was kidding about the straight white males thing. That was
Of
in
course
jest.
you were.
Some people might take that the wrong way and say Brian's a racist piece of shit.
I mean, I say stuff. I'm already worried about the thing, but I will say that Michael Rappaport said it's Jewish people to people who aren't Jewish. No more Jews from people who aren't Jewish people.
Okay,
I liked that. I was like, yes, because I feel like it gives people who are saying it the wrong way a license to when it's like, well, this progressive person said it that this person, this person who I know is not an anti-Semite said it, so I can say it. But it's like, yeah, with you, it's just I know
They're
you're
gonna
saying
say
it
anyway. If they hate Jews, they're gonna say it anyway. They're gonna say
Well,
derogatory.
those are the
But then we'll be
haters.
able to identify who hates you.
Yeah, those are haters.
That's
So
maybe what I want is like, I want us all to agree like, hey, we're not going to do this anymore. So when people do, you're like, ha ha,
Right.
I know your true feelings,
Gotcha.
even though you mask it.
I see.
You don't hear the actual derogatory for Jew very, very often these days.
I know the one for, isn't it just like a female though? That's the one I know.
The K word.
Yeah. Is that for female? I always picture that being a female.
I don't know. That's just
No,
a
it's for
Jew.
everyone.
I guess we know how
D,
I
you're-
I don't
There's
even
also
know what word that would be.
DYKE is like
Oh,
a
that's
lesbian
great.
derogatory.
I have no
term.
idea.
DYKE.
Oh.
It rhymes
But
with
then
that
KYKE.
derogatory word.
Yeah.
KYKE. You've never heard that?
Okay, I don't know.
No.
Really?
You don't hear it these days.
Good,
Thank
good.
God.
That's
Good.
great.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know
I
where
don't even know what you're talking
Well,
about.
I know that there was a
Tell me
derogatory
later.
term that I just spelled it for you. So say that in your head, and that's the word.
Don't say it on my-
KYKE.
Just say the word in your head.
It's
Oh.
pronounced like bike, but with the other word,
Oh,
other
okay.
letter. I mean, I don't know how.
So that
Did I
is
just
supposed
say
to
it?
be.
Jesus
No.
Christ.
Oh no, I got it.
Okay, you've never heard that word.
Okay, I have heard that word, but I never even thought it to be Jewish.
Oh, really? What did you
No.
think it
Oh, wow.
described?
I have no idea. I'm honest to God, I don't know what I've heard that word, but I don't know what.
Oh, interesting. Well, I know there was a word that you taught me that
I'm
was derogatory that I didn't know, and you didn't teach me in the way that you think. You're getting nervous, but don't be nervous. It was after high school one day, and Taylor used to call me Nick and then SP,
Oh no.
and it rhymed. And she would just say that because it was just a thing that rhymed with
Nick, right?
Yeah.
Nick and
Mm.
she would always say it was my nickname, and then one day she said it in front of you, and you go, "What are you saying? You do not say that word. That is a
really?
horrible word. Like you got to learn sometimes you just stumble
gotta
upon
learn.
Yeah.
a racial slur, and it feels real good in your mouth because it's clicky. It has like some glottal sounds that really feel like I mean, that word is kind of like peppy.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you don't know what it means.
I remember
And
when I
I didn't
learned
just say
the word.
peppy, like, yeah.
When I learned the word fuck, I was at my friend
Oof.
Mike Verro's house, and his uncle was there, and he was so wasted. And we were just eating cake at the kitchen table. I don't know why they had cake. Not important. But the uncle kept going, "What the fuck's your problem?" And just groaning. "What the fuck's your problem?" And then
How old were you?
6,
And was he
7, I
saying
don't
it to
know.
you?
He was. I think
the
because we were
air?
laughing at him because he was groaning. He was going, eating the cake and going,
Oh, fuck.
and then we
poor
were laughing,
guy.
and he'd go, "What the fuck's your problem?"
God,
and
that
then-
scars you.
and then
Scarred
Mike
you.
Burrow's mom came in and said, "Larry, stop cursing, Larry." And he goes, "I didn't do shit." So, I mean,
God, you remember that so well. That's
because I mean,
yeah,
I learned
Traumatized
fuck.
him.
I knew shit already.
yeah. It's traumatized by Uncle. What's his name?
Well,
Drunk uncle.
I
Drunk
heard
Uncle.
we were on the way to Spokane from LA, and on their flight, there was a family with young kids, and then there were these two men yelling back and forth at each other, like, "Yeah, let's fucking go. We're gonna fucking do it this weekend. Just fucking,
That's so
fucking, fuck."
rude.
And I was like, "What the?" And I was
Did you
2
say something?
seconds. I was turning around to confront the guy because I was ready
Yeah.
because everyone
I'm not afraid
clocked
to do
these
that.
people. It was a small plane. And I
Yes.
was going to say, "Hey, buddy, they're kids literally right here."
Yeah.
He was with the group it was his kids.
Oh,
I'm on his
God.
side. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I was kind of slightly
I was-
annoyed by that
He's
family.
on his side.
I don't know. I mean, Brian, you were on this plane. How could you ever be on that family's side? I was saying
I was
that
annoyed
this is
by
one of
the
those
whole
planes-
family.
where you
I
go,
felt like-
if this plane crashes, it'll be good, net good for the world. Talk about a net good. I was like, I would take this hit.
Oh my God.
If these people would be eliminated because they're they're obnoxious. Then they have a huge family. They're only making more obnoxious, rude,
Yes, that's what I was
entitled
feeling that the whole
assholes.
time.
So you wanted
That
the
whole-
I was
plane
like,
to
this
crash
plane.
too.
I didn't want it to, but I go, it would make sense to me if God just goes, nope, we're gonna lose a couple
Net
good
gain.
ones.
Yeah.
Net gain.
That would have been an
These people don't
unlucky
believe in me
situation.
anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
I no, that whole family kind of like owned the plane. It was
Yeah.
weird. There was so
God.
many of them,
were
and they
all
were
hostage.
standing, walking up and down the aisles the whole time, always going, like getting up from their seat to go talk to someone three rows in front of
worst
them.
No.
people.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see it happening. I could just hear it. It was one of those planes where I couldn't listen to a podcast because it was so loud outside.
Yeah.
So I just had to blast my airplane
What
noise.
is
Of like,
wrong with people?
And Chris was sitting next to one of them. He was there's two seats in a row, and he was next to one of them. He was window. In Seattle, their special was taped at the Moore Theater. Across the street from the Moore Theater, you took a picture in front of it. There is a cool, it's a KOH.
oh yeah, KUHL. Like an outdoor.
How's that?
And
But it's
by
not
the
said
way,
K.
I
It's
think
cool.
it's like cool.
it's
or
cool. I think
Cool,
it's cool because
but it's
it's
a
like
cuss
it says
store.
underneath it definition German cool meaning cool.
Wait, somebody posted that for your benefit?
No. It's
you
a
took a
store.
picture in front of it.
It's called KUHL. It's a store
Oh.
called K.
Oh,
Right
my
by the
God.
Moore Theater. And then around the corner
around
What
the
a
corner
coincidence.
from the Moore Theater is a printing place called Swifty Printing.
Printing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. That is
I'm
that where it's
just
from,
lucky.
Seattle?
You're
Yeah.
It is not a sign of anything else.
It's
Right.
not
There's no
coincidence.
God.
And then Nikki's friend from Iceland showed up. And
Yeah, that well, I will say in the morning, I was going to go take a picture at the marquee with all my friends the next morning after we got Starbucks, and then they were leaving for the airport. So I go, let's go get a quick picture. And so we were walking up there, and then I saw there was a Seahawks game happening, and there was a father and a son, and then the son's friend, I'm guessing, was the dynamic there. And they were walking next to us, and the son was like, "Oh, Nikki Glaser. Oh yeah, she's got a lot of Netflix specials. She's really funny." And I instantly was like, "It's me!" And I like lifted up my sunglasses because I just thought one of them might be like, "I don't like her. Oh, she's kind of
saving them.
she's ugly or something." Like I just was, even
You're
though they
scared of
never
them.
would have said that,
It's
they were
never-
so nice.
Nobody says
But I
that.
instantly was like, "I'm here. Stop talking. I can't." Like I wanted to like just end on good, and they were so excited. And they were like, "Well," and we were like, "Can you take our picture?" And they were like, "Well, can you take our picture?" They were so excited. And
Wow.
I'll say this another special thing in Spokane. I got to see this couple. It was a daughter and mother, and I met them probably 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago, when I was working in Spokane at a comedy club, and I found out that 10 Things I Hate About You had been shot there.
Okay.
And there's a really famous high school like scene where the marching band and like Heath Ledger sings "I love you, baby," and he like walks up and down the bleachers, and it's like this big moment in the movie. And I knew that the school, it's a really cool looking like track and field area. I knew that school was there. It's very iconic. And so I went and ran over to it when I was in Spokane years ago. And while I was there was these other girls that were there that clearly are there to see it too. Like, but we were at this weird place that it's not like a lot of people go there. But I was like, "Are you here for 10 Things I Hate About You?" And they were like, "Yes." And I was like, "Oh my God."
That's
And so I was like, "I'm actually performing this weekend." And they were like, "Oh my God, yes, we'd love to come to a show." So they came to a show that weekend, and then they've come to 2 subsequent shows, and I got to see them in Spokane the other night. And the little daughter was like, "I loved your suicide stuff." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And she was like, "I actually tried to kill myself last year." And her mom's like, "Yeah, she tried to kill herself." And I was like, "Oh my God." I go, "No." And she was like, it didn't work though. And I was like, "Please don't do it again. Please." I was holding her face like, "No, don't you ever do that to me again." And but they were just like, so, oh, she goes, it was actually the suicide anniversary was 2 days ago. It was like her 2-year sue-anniversary. They called it. They had some like name for it because
Oh
they were
my
like,
God.
we have to make
How
fun of it.
whimsical.
It was so great because I was like, yeah, you gotta laugh about it. That's why they liked my stuff about it, because they were like, it's so sad otherwise. You gotta joke about it. And so I just loved the lightness of which she was like, "Yeah, I tried to kill myself." Like it was nice in a way.
And the mother was in tune with it too.
The mother was like team suicide. Like they were like rah rah sis boom bosh. She's alive. Like, isn't it crazy?
She tried to do it.
Yeah, they were like totally cool about it and best friends and had such a good time at my show. It was so sweet. So shout out to them. I forget your names, but I love you and I promise you tickets to my shows forever and ever. We'll be back with more show after this. Final thought. Mom, thanks for stopping by. Last
Oh,
night we
so
went to
fun.
dinner. It was so fun.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
Even though we had to wait for dinner. I know that was,
It's the Glaser way.
yeah.
Did
We got
EJ
No, it
like
ended up
it?
being good. Yeah, Dad liked the dinner. I mean, there were a couple
Oh, it was
comments
delicious.
made. Oh, it was so good. Barcelona and St. Louis.
Yeah.
We did not get a deal, so I'm not being paid. to
Yeah,
say
you
that.
really did not. We thought you were going to get something out of that, but
Yeah, because
you got a Diet Coke.
We know the chef there.
No, we know the owner.
The
He's-
owner,
he's
and
the
he like came
owner.
to our table and sat down, and my parents
known him
I was
for
like, I'm getting
15
the bill,
years.
and they're like, well, you're gonna get a discount, and I was like, I don't need one, but like, okay, and they're like, don't worry, he's gonna take care of
Oh,
you,
God.
and there was no taking care of,
No.
but I don't care because I
No,
didn't
you
intend
don't-
for that,
you
and
don't ask for
I
it.
like paying full price for things, like, but it was one of the best meals I've had in so long,
Awesome.
right?
Yeah, I loved it. I was hoping you loved
Even
it
though
as
Dad
much.
was like, these clams, why would you serve these clams
Without
no
bread.
bread? What can we? This is my dad asking for bread. Okay,
God.
the guy comes over.
Give him a break.
Can we get some bread? Oh yeah, I'll have some bread. I mean, what, this dish, like you wouldn't serve bread with this dish? Oh yeah, I don't like. It does usually. So this. I mean, I did order bread. I think I ordered it like 20 minutes ago. I was
We
like,
need your dad
And
to
then he-
get a food show on the Food Network because he's
Where
like a
he just-
curmudgeon.
Oh,
They don't
yeah,
have
he's-
that angle.
He's kind of,
That's a really good point.
It's
My
like-
mom should do a hotel show where it's look at this.
and we should go to the restaurant and
And then my
your
dad can just
will-
go like, I don't know. I'm not going to be
I'm-
excited about it when it's
why
burnt.
should I?
It's just it's 2 sprigs of lettuce on this thing. I don't know. It's
God,
just
you
the
think
salads.
they could give any more lettuce or whatever?
or whatever, dude.
I feel bad talking about him. We love you.
No,
EJ.
there's a paywall behind this episode. He'll never hear it. Just kidding. There's not. He's gonna hear it. We do love you.
He'll
my
definitely
dad's
listen
the
because he
best.
was kind of in a bad mood today. So,
But I'm totally the same as my dad. Like I find myself turning
Not
into him when I
you
go like,
do-
well, that's what I wanted initially,
Nikki.
like muttering things under my breath a little bit, like being a brat, being a widow baby.
well, I don't see it happening. but
I can be such a widow.
I
wah,
see
wah.
you correct your dad when he's being a baby, though. You catch him.
I don't
And
let
I
you
like-
two get away with much.
I like
It
it.
must be exhausting to be around me because I don't let either of you get away with your behaviors. Like, do you ever try to give marriage counseling to your parents, Brian?
Oh, well, my
or
parents
like
are
anyone?
divorced.
Okay, so that's
I mean-
so I guess you
So
tried,
you-
but you failed.
You didn't do a good job, obviously.
No, but I do point out my dad's behaviors to him all the time, which I'm sure. But his current partner, Vicky, also does it. So I think it's pretty much relentless for him.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it sucks to be told the truth, but I constantly quote this moment because I've been talking in therapy about how I can be a bitch and like a know-it-all and things like that, and in couples therapy because listen, I can be. I
we all
I went
can.
off the rails today on this podcast.
Not
and I
really,
got
it's just
got a little
funny.
bit of a Kia, a know-it-all. That's what I call myself when I'm being like that. I'm a Kia right now. But
I don't.
I
get
was
that, but go
thinking
ahead.
about how well that's nice of you, but one time we were all hanging by the pool, and I think we were arguing about free will actually with Lauren and you and me, and you were like, "I'm out of this conversation. I'm done." And my sister was like, it's not real." And I'm like, she's like, "I don't believe it. I do have control over my thoughts." And I was like, "But you don't. It's an illusion." So but I don't know how to argue it properly.
Yeah, it's a hard one to.
It's almost impossible, but
Yeah.
I just get it, and I get so mad when other people don't or whatever, and I think I'm superior because I get this thing that people don't, and I start getting an ego about it. But Lauren just goes, "You are such a bitch. You just sometimes you act like you just fucking know everything. You're so much better than anyone else because you're smart and you have it all figured out, and you're really condescending, and you just sometimes have." And she said sometimes, which is a crucial thing. It doesn't
Okay.
mean I'm all the time. I think when
Oh,
people start
see,
going
she's
like,
giving you a break.
always. I remember not being offended at all. I actually was like, I respect you so much more that you see through my bullshit, that you see I don't have it all figured out, that you know that I'm just like insecure and being like a little like, that I am being like, I liked it a lot. And it really opened my eyes to like, I trust her judgment of people so much, even though she, we hated each other as kids and said awful things to each other. And I really didn't take any of that to heart. But in that moment, I was like, my sister's a more intelligent person right now than me. And she's kind of like telling me like it is. And I also learned Lauren is much more intelligent than me when we did a trivia game on
Oh.
Thanksgiving.
Oh,
You were worried about that.
I was disturbed because we got done with it, and it was a trivia game I had played with Anya.
She's
and Matt.
a teacher, first of all.
I know, but she's a teacher of Spanish.
I know, but she's
stuff.
still.
It's not like she
She's
should know.
academic.
She's
Yeah,
academic.
she's an academic. Yeah.
I
Mm.
would like to be an academic too. I want to be things that I'm not, and I realize I'm not an academic, and I'm scared to go on Celebrity Jeopardy. I don't know if that's
Do
going to
not
be
worry.
a good thing for me.
It's going to be
It might
fine.
be extremely embarrassing.
Is that coming up?
and I was supposed to do it this season, but I was busy with F Boy and then the special, and I just couldn't imagine like just preparing for it. So
Everyone prepares for Jeopardy. They go there. There
yes,
are
but
lists
that's
of
the
questions.
scary thing. What if I don't prepare
No,
the right
you
way?
just prepare and
then
you
they
get
go,
the
how
answer
many
in your
gods
head."
does Judaism have? And I go, 0.
Yeah,
I really remember that,
that-
some religion didn't have a god. Like it's not a god, it's like an idea. Is there any religion like that?
Atheism.
No. Is it what don't you guys have that everyone else has? There's something that the Judaism religion is
Foreskin.
lacking. That's it. That's what I was
was it.
thinking, because that's
That's-
my God.
That's your idol.
Yeah, that's the foreskin is my savior, Lord and Savior.
Can you tell the story about when you were at the store and Chris or somebody, or you're at the hotel and Chris or someone heard people over?
Oh,
This is a great story. You know what
wait,
I'm
the
talking about?
one from the elevator?
Where you heard people. Well, there's that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
You heard
Okay.
people talking about trying to get into the store.
Yes. Okay. So Chris was downstairs trying to get a package for me or something. And he's at the front desk, and I'm upstairs like feverishly writing on my laptop, trying to figure out what to do for my sets that night. I had 6 sets. And so I'm just like final hours, like figuring it out. And then he comes up and he's like, the funniest thing just happened. He was like, and he's kind of like on his phone, like, so, and I'm like, this is something I have to do. Like, there's something I'm involved in this in some way. It's not just a good story. Like, I know he's kind of pitching to me, like, I know this is annoying, but it's kind of cool. And he's like, I'm down at the front desk, and I overheard the woman talking to these kids, and she goes, well, who are you wanting to see? And they were like, Nikki Glaser, Andrew Santino, like, that's the show. And my hotel is next to the
event. or
the
whatever.
comedy store. And so it was like, that was part of maybe a package they bought with them, or they're just trying to get tickets through the hotel. And my boyfriend goes, who do you want to see? And they're like, Andrew Santino, Nikki Glaser. And he goes, I think I can make this happen for you. How many of there are you? Let me get your number. And they're like, who are you? And he's just like, let me just see what I can do. He's like not telling them. And so he comes upstairs and he's like, I told these boys, I got one of their numbers. Is there any way they can get into this show at this time? And I was like, yeah. And so I wrote Emily from the store, and she was like, immediately was like, yes, they're in. Got their names. And he was like, okay, I'm going to tell them. And I was like, let me just send them a video. And I'm like, hey boys, it's Nikki. You're coming to the show tonight. I heard you ran into someone in the lobby. Like, I was just like, and they thought it was a deep fake.
Oh
Yeah.
my
What?
God.
And I was like, I would pick a much prettier picture of my face to do a deep fake on than me, the way I looked when I shot that thing. And they wrote back, and they were like, all these young, but they were like 19 years old. They were in like
my
20,
God.
22, maybe college age. They drove down from Stanford and were their favorite comedians. They did say, you're my favorite comedian, female. And I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I won the best act. It's like winning the Oscars for best actress.
Wow.
Never
by
forget
gender.
that.
Stanford boys.
Yes.
Yeah, they were
I'll
so excited. And
never
I saw them
forget
at the show, and that was a good set, unlike the one that I had in front of Amanda Knox. I mean, Klutz.
Wait, no.
No, not Amanda Knox. Amanda Klutz. She's from the talk. I thought her name was
Oh,
Kuntz, but it was because I was confusing the
Oh.
Knox and the Kuntz and the Klutz. But yeah, what? Then the other story was, okay, we were
That's a great
in the
story.
elevator at the hotel, and on our way out, we're flying to Spokane early morning. And the night before, I had done Greg Fitzsimmons. I'm already laughing. I had done Greg Fitzsimmons' charity show. It was this charity called Best Buddies, and it's like to get people with
Mhm.
mental handicaps work and
Oh.
like in the community
nice.
and give them support. So anyway, I was holding this tote that said Best Buddies, and Chris is just making morning talk, and he's like, What was that charity again? Like we're in the elevator bank waiting for the elevator on our floor. And he's like, what's that charity again? And I was like, oh, I literally have no idea. It's Greg Fitzsimmons' friends. Like, I don't know. They put together the baskets that they gave us because the money from the whatever. And I'm just like kind of delirious. And then this guy walks up to get an elevator too. And he goes, wait, what charity is that? And I go, oh, it's just my friend's charity. I have no time for this guy. I already don't have time for Chris's question because I had no information for him about this charity. I've since looked into it to have an answer. And this guy goes, what charity? And I go, I literally don't know. It's just a friend's charity, and it's just a tote bag from it. And he goes, oh, okay. Because that's crazy. I just donated to a charity this morning. That's crazy. I couldn't process what was happening. It was as if this man had just found out about charities that
my
morning.
God.
He was like, maybe it was yesterday. He said, oh my God, that's so crazy. I just donated to a charity yesterday. And it was like the way a guy would pick up like a middle school girl. That's like, you give to charities? Like that we might not know what that might sound like you're rich or something.
Is
like,
that a person?
He didn't say how much. He wasn't like, I donated, like there was nothing. It wasn't like, a similar charity. It was just charities.
What a coincidence.
What a huge coincidence. He just wanted to brag about going to donate. And it wasn't like he was trying to pick me up and be like,
no.
Even that would be so embarrassing. Because Chris was right there too. So he was just bragging to a couple about how he had donated.
He's a giver.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I just donated to a charity. I'm just like, it was as if saying like, I just
person.
breathed in
That's
air
so
too.
That's so crazy. I carry things in bags all the time.
Oh my God, wait a second. You're
No,
going
wait.
to
I'm
this
a good
elevator
person.
bank too? It was even worse than that. It was just the dumbest thing to be like, wait, what'd you go? Oh my God, what's that? Oh my God,
No, he's a good
it's
person.
the bag thing. Yeah, he's a good person.
Well,
and
there
I
was
go,
a theory at
bottom
dinner
line.
that he wanted you to ask him about the charity because it was
Right.
it might have
but
been
if
some
that's
huge.
the case, why no one involved with something huge would be that stupid? You know what I mean? Like that's my
Well, you
problem.
never
Is
know.
like
Crypto?
whatever this guy is involved in, he is the biggest idiot I've ever. I would have given anything to follow him throughout his day. I would probably pay an obscene amount of money that would change people's lives to just know what that guy was up to. The rest, like a little camera on him and the things he would say. Because then we got into the car and Chris and I just can't stop talking about him. Like, what is this
That's
guy up
so
to?
funny.
Who says this? Why didn't we follow up? Why didn't we ask more questions? Like, we were both just stunned.
No.
We both looked at each other in the elevator. Like, if you know anything about me, it's that if I see something weird, if there's like a little person or someone like disfigured or something, and like people normally would be like, "Oh my God, did you see that?" I will wait until we're miles from the person to say
Right.
anything because I don't want to ever make anyone feel
Right.
bad or like. But man, we got in this elevator and I immediately looked like Chris, like, "What the fuck?" Was like, we have to have a moment about this immediately because this man just said, "Oh my God, I just donated." Like, speaking of charities, what are you talking about?
Here would be the funniest thing if you would have said, "You are so amazing. I would love to just follow you around."
Oh, he
with a
would've
camera.
I mean, this is what this guy wants.
This is unbelievable.
Honestly, this guy would be amazing,
that would
amazing
throw
reality
him.
show. And so then we get in the car and I go, all I know is that his initials were AZ because that's what his loafers said. Okay. His like velvet loafers had this A on one and Z on the other. And Chris goes, "Oh, you sweet thing. That's the hotel we're staying at. Those like the initials of the hotel." And it's not exactly the hotel's initial. It's like the first and last letter of one word. So it's not.
He stole the slippers.
And I did think maybe that's just the hotel slippers, but I go, there's no one that would ever wear those out and about through their day except this man.
Oh my God, that's
Who
great.
are you, sir? If you're listening, if anyone knows what this man that is recently bragging about donating to charities and is wearing loafers that say AZ, and he's probably in his like 40s. I'm guessing early 40s with curly hair. If I could tell a sketch artist, it would end up, he would look like
Shaun
like
White.
like an old member of 98 Degrees, but thinner.
Oh,
Like he looks like he's in a boy band.
but you know he's got a fascinating life going on.
Just the things he says to people all day. I just can't even imagine what that would be like to overhear. I want to be next to him on a plane so bad, but I don't want to be in the conversation. I just want to eaves.
No.
That's why I did not continue it in the elevator because I wanted to be away from it, but I want to just observe. Okay, we got to go.
Speaking of Eves,
Speaking of Eves, oh, great transitione. I am going to be New Year's Eve in Denver. At the Paramount Theater. And I will also be there New Year's Eve. So if you have New Year's Eve plans already, that's not an excuse enough not to come see me. It's not a drunken night. It's not a night that's going to make you too tired for the next night. It's just I think one show each night. We'll get you out of there before your bedtime. We'll have a great time. We'll laugh. It'll be so much fun. It's the end of the year. Let go. Maybe give it as a nice gift. What a great gift idea if you're struggling to come up with something for your friend. Maybe plan a trip around it. I don't know. It's coming up December 30th and 31st at the Paramount Theater in Denver. That's the show, Mom. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun.
So fun. Don't be good and just go off the rails sometimes.